I've been out of town. Really, I've been out of town for a little while. I went up to Nova Scotia. So Nova Scotia, the ends of the earth, as some people say out there. But it's, a province and an island that's part of Canada to go to 45 drives. And we, as in other tech creators, were invited. We were invited to a summit, and the summit was called De-Microsoft-ification, which is, it's kind of hard to say until you say it like 15 to 30 times, which I think I have, even more. But that was really a summit to get some people together on YouTube who are into Linux, into open source, into infrastructure, into services, and some into enterprise, to kind of talk about, ways that companies, specifically companies or enterprises, can evolve, I guess, from using proprietary solutions. And so, it's a little bit different lens than doing it at home, right? For me at home, even at home, I can't. For work, I actually could. So I'll break it down a little bit. So it was all over the place. So it was talking about, replacing desktop Linux, right? I think Linux has already won the server room, right? They've won. There's no competition. Linux wins, right? So I think the next evolution is kind of what 45 Drives is thinking about is, Linux on the client. And then on top of that, getting rid of some of their proprietary solutions. And I guess I should just do a little bit deeper dive since I didn't get to talk about it that much on the video. But that's what this is for. So it was, a lot of people brought a lot of different perspectives. Some people brought their Linux perspective, their enterprise perspective, whatever. And it was kind of an open topic to talk about whatever we want. I actually went last this year. The year before I went first. I was nervous to go first, but I was glad I went first last year because I got to say all the new things. I went last this year and I felt like I was repeating everything everyone said. But anyways, that aside, what 45 Drives was trying to get out of this was, some ideas and things on how they can move away from some proprietary solutions. The one of the co-founders there was basically saying that, he doesn't agree with a lot of company or a lot of, I just say Windows. He doesn't agree with Windows privacy or lack of data sovereignty. And, he runs, let's just say he's not just building cases. Like their parent company, Protocase, builds prototypes for like NASA, right? For government agencies. And so he has to comply with all of the privacy and security laws of all of those companies. And so he just is at the point where he thinks that, he doesn't, I think his words, doesn't want to be, some other company's proprietary solution to kind of dictate, how his data should be handled. And so it was a long, good discussion. And, seeing his point of view as a, I don't want to say a small business owner. It is a small business in size, but they're doing big businesses with big agencies, government agencies, you name it. But I could see his point where, his job or internally, his business tools shouldn't change on him unless he wants them to. And he was just talking about the frustrations, that he has. This was the backdrop of the whole thing. The frustrations, that he has with Windows in general, and how, Windows wants to reboot in a pretty important, meeting that he's on, and he doesn't want it to reboot, wants to patch it, wants to update it, wants to change the UI, and wants to change all kinds of things that, he claims that has no value for his business. And he's at the point where he says that, as we saw with CrowdStrike and other things, and that's just one example where, he wants to be at the point where the whole world could be down using Windows or whatever, and his business will still be running because he chose all of his solutions and he's running on Linux. Obviously, that's kind of a pipe dream. And that same thing could happen to Linux. He's well aware. But anyways, it was a lot of talks like that. It was really fun to hear everyone's perspectives, and I got to meet a lot of people that I've respected and seen over the years. So that was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I got to meet all kinds of people, got to do all kinds of things, and it was a little bit tough though. It was a little bit tough, like for me. I went into it like I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm a fan of Microsoft stuff. I use Microsoft products. I'm pretty okay with Windows, right? I'm okay with Windows. But I'm a consumer. I'm not running a business. I don't have all these extra requirements or use cases that a lot of people do. So me personally, I'm totally fine with Windows. I actually enjoy Windows. And I kind of made this clear too, both before I went and during my presentation that, I hoped it wasn't going to be a Windows bashing or a Microsoft bashing thing. Like that's not something I want to be a part of. Do I joke about it sometimes? Sure. It's easy. Do I joke about Mac? Do I joke about Apple, Android? Yes, I do, because it's fun and it's easy and people can relate. But I didn't want to be a part of a larger group of people that are just going to bash a product all day. And that's not what it was. And they made it clear from the beginning that's not what it was, because I made it clear, too, that I didn't want to be part of that. So anyways, that's not what it was at all. And the De-Microsoft, now I'm messing it up. The De-Microsoft-ification was really just a play on words, to kind of get people not excited, but to kind of frame it up like, hey, big companies like this have proprietary solutions that are kind of locking you in. And it was kind of coined by them. And so when I saw it at first, I was a little bit worried. I was like, I kind of like Microsoft stuff. I use VS Code all day long. I like Windows 10 and 11. I'm cool with this stuff. Like I don't want to be, bashing this stuff, because I respect Microsoft as a company and I like their products. So besides Internet Explorer, that was one I didn't like. But kidding. See, like that, I could poke fun at it, but at the end of the day, I still appreciate their products. And I always have. There's no changing in, just because I run Mac, I run Linux, I run Windows, I still appreciate a lot of the products from Microsoft. So anyways, that was fun, and it was interesting, and it was great to hear a lot of people's perspectives. And I will say this too, I also made it clear, hey, if it, I understand people's frustration. Ooh, I'm seeing new stuff. I don't know. I'm going to get into the events. I do apologize. I didn't call them out. I got too excited to talk about this, and I'll call them all out here in a second. But what I was also made clear is that, if Microsoft has provided, created a lot in this world, right or wrong, however you feel about it, they've created a lot, and at least for me, it's provided so many opportunities for me, going all the way back, and so, I always keep that in the back of my head that hey, if a lot of these products didn't exist, I may not be where I am today, when it comes to Windows, when it comes to Active Directory, when it comes to, you name it, SCCM, all these business enterprise products, that help a business run, I've had to work with or support or build or, engineer solutions for. And even right now, I write my code all day long in VS Code, where that's open source. So, I wanted to make that clear too, that, hey, I don't think I would be where I'm at today without their products. And arguably, it could be some other company, right? If it was some other company, I don't want to say hey, only Microsoft. It could have been someone else, but, with a lot of these proprietary solutions, I wouldn't be where I am today if they weren't there. So anyways, I was, obviously no one there was like, I hate all this stuff. I hate proprietary stuff. Well, I won't go that far. But for the most part, for me personally, I tried to keep it fair and balanced. That's what I try to do, because I try to be the balancer. When things swing too far one way, I try to balance it out the other way. My wife hates it because she's always like, why can't you agree with me on this stuff? And I'm always trying to give her a different perspective. I do it a little bit to troll her too. But anyways, that was kind of my trip. I'm happy to answer more questions, but I wanted to just kind of like get that out there and kind of frame up anything just in case you had, little questions or wanted to know what it was like being there. But other than that, including that, it was all great. It was all great. Like just being able to set aside some time. It was 6 days. It was a long time. And it was a long time for me, being a solo creator. That's a long time to put aside to not create content or build content or anything like that. But it was definitely worth it to be able to connect with not only 45 Drives, but the other creators that went with me and get to see them in real life. All of the people there, I've been in a Discord with them for years, maybe, plural, outside of Crack Computing. That was my first time meeting everyone else. So, and I got to meet Wendell last year, so that was awesome too. Anyways, I'll stop talking about that unless you want me to keep talking about it. I'll get into questions and we'll go from there. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of been my last week and a half, and then release that video kind of talking about it. Yeah, that's been it. I'm working on a couple more things. Today was kind of I'm gonna redo part of my studio or my office. When I'm at home, I call it my office, but when I talk to people on the internet, I call it the studio. I don't know why. I should probably just say my home office. But if I say home studio, then it kind of frames up, that's where he does the recording and stuff. Anyways, so I'm changing some stuff in here. Nothing you're going to see, but giving myself some more storage area in this place because I'm tired of running up and down stairs to grab a couple of things. And you can see all the projects I have stacked up there. I would like to stack some of those projects on a shelf, for a day so I could film and do stuff and then put them right back without having to put them on the floor and tripping over them. So real quick before I forget, what I'm drinking on today, I usually talk about the seltzer water, bubbly water, angry water, whatever you want to call it, that I'm drinking. Today is a little bit different. I was going to go for just some water in the Nalgene again, which I have some plain old water back there, some still water. I should be fancy and say it. But I decided, hey, I'm on the stream and not going to say, hey, I'm drinking tap water. Maybe I'll feature Minneapolis tap water next week because that could be a good one. Anyways, drinking this, it's kind of a knockoff of Dr. Pepper, but it's called Dr. Cherry Vanilla Sparkling Water. And this, again, is another Good & Gather, so that's a Target brand. That's Target only. But this is a little bit caffeinated, and it basically tastes a little bit like Dr. Pepper. So a little bit of cherry, a little bit of vanilla, and just a hint. Not as good as the Cherry Cola one. I like that one better. Not as good as the Cherry Cola one, but this is pretty good. It could use some more cherry, and it could use some more vanilla, and it could use some more Dr. How about that? But that's kind of what I say with every drink. So anyways, that's what I'm drinking on today, and I have an Nalgene around here somewhere that I'm drinking on. No hat today. I just decided I'm going to go bedhead all day. Yeah. All right, let's get into comments, and let's oh my gosh, someone's ringing the doorbell. Hey, sorry, I'm on a call. Someone's ringing the doorbell, and I saw him, but I'm definitely on a call. So let's get into comments. Let's see. Music driver. Oh, did I? Yeah, this is the first one. Music driver, good evening. All right, it's afternoon here. It's getting close to there. Yes, if you need to go. Yes, if you need to go. Oh, this is because I said we. I get it. I would say we, because I always have to test the comment system to make sure they appear here. Piece of cake. Yes, it has been 4 years. We talked about that. Appreciate it, man. Oh yeah, my old logo. That was kind of my logo when I started. And funny story, I was just cleaning out a bunch of I was basically like de-hoarding a lot of my data that I've been hoarding. And so, whoa, dude, thanks for the sub. Am I looking at the right thing? Dude, Takano. Talking about a long time too. Takano, 44-month anniversary. Crazy. Now I'm starting to train for my A+ in CCNA. Been a huge help in getting me more involved in the tech field. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. You got it, man. Takano, you got this. You've had this from day one. You were like talking about all the things you were doing. I think one of the very first things I remember about you were painting. You were painting a rack, I think. You were painting a rack white. And I was like, that is awesome. And it inspired me to get a lighter color rack too. That's why I have a lighter color one in my data centers, because I remember you were painting a rack white. And I'm like, yeah, why aren't racks white? And then I was like, yeah, it looks so clean. Anyways, dude, Takano, thank you so much. Appreciate it. You're already there with tech. You just happened to find me. I remember you were all kinds of stuff. You had VCRs and you were dubbing videos and you were doing all of this crazy stuff. And I think you were like 14 at the time. I'm like, man, this guy is so far ahead of me in some areas, and he's only 14. He's not now. It's been a while. I think that's how old you were when you first subbed. So anyways, dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it. My men's, hey, how's it going? Phantom Way, hey everyone, I usually don't make these live, but anyways, enjoy watching the VODs on YouTube. Oh yeah, that's good call. Yeah, they will be live. I try to get them out Sunday or Monday. Depends on the editing, because I've been doing a little bit of editing before I post them up, just to kind of clean them up. But yeah, they will be on my other YouTube channel Monday, either tomorrow or Monday. Budney, how's it going? Hello, everyone. Undercurve TV, what do you think is the best VPS provider based on price? Whew. I mean, last I checked, Linode. Linode was kind of the go-to. I haven't looked in a while, so I could be wrong. But the whole like $5 for, for VM, if that's what you're going after, was pretty affordable. I mean, obviously that's, your compute's going to be low, your RAM's going to be low, but they only go up from there. But I think they're one of the few that started at $5. I don't know if it's still that way after inflation and after everything else, and they got acquired by Akamai, right? So I think Akamai acquired them. Hopefully, getting acquired by Akamai helped. Was it Akamai? I don't want to misspeak. I think it was. I can't remember. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But hopefully getting acquired by a bigger company helps you keep your prices down, right? But who knows? You never know. It could be one of those, Broadcom things where it's like, no, we're going to drive these prices up because you might have been losing money to begin with, or we want to gouge. You choose. But that's what that's the first place I would look. How about that? Then there's like the whole free tier that some people do from Oracle Cloud, which they still offer, which is a pretty good deal. You can't argue with free, and very few VPSs now give anything out free. So there's that. Yeah, Vultr. There you go. Vulture. There you go, too. Vultr. Yeah, Vultr. I think that's one that Craft Computing sponsors, too. He thinks it's a good service. I actually talked to him about it while we were in Nova Scotia. So, yeah, that's absolutely one, too. Then there's the American hosting. I don't know. There's some other new VPS that's like American hosting or something like that Brett from Radau, who I got to meet in person, too, sponsored a few times. And what makes them unique is they have load balancers. They sell like load balancers for $10 that are unlimited egress, which is like unheard of, which is awesome to get an HA load balancer in the cloud with unlimited egress. It's like incredible. But, the thing about having an egress in the cloud is that you usually have to have your compute and everything else co-located there too. So I get it. It's what they call a loss leader. I feel like that's a loss leader for them because they're like, hey, I wouldn't be talking about it right now. A $10 load balancer in the cloud with unlimited egress, that's pretty enticing. And I think that's a loss leader for them to kind of get people to get in their cloud. So there are lots of options, and I'm so glad they're like, I don't want to call them no-namers, but smaller companies spinning up providing cloud services. It's good to have this competition. The big three out there they're gonna compete, but they're gonna kind of compete more in the enterprise space, right? They're gonna compete on volume, right? And so I think when these smaller players gonna come in, they're gonna compete on like bottom line, and where I think that's really good because Google, Amazon, Microsoft, they're going to compete on volume. That's theirs because they want bulk. Would they like smaller customers? Sure. Do they, is that what they're targeting? No. And I think with a lot of these smaller cloud hosting companies, they're really targeting small to medium customers, which is, I think, good. Trevor, hey, yo, Tim. Oh, we talked about that. Yeah, man, you're hooking your girlfriend up all the time. She's like going to be super secure for sure. Calgar, hi everyone. Moin. Oh, yeah, moin to you as well. Matt, oh, there we go. Matt, I love to see your helpfulness each week with your developers. Hey, awesome. Glad to see you on Twitch. Thanks for being awesome. Matt, thank you so much for being awesome too and your continued support, man. Matt is really awesome. He's really awesome. Like, I think this one comment summarizes him because he's always positive. He's always helpful. All he's missing is a little bit of humor because he's a pretty funny guy. And if his humor, he'll slip it in there and no one smiles, and I'm like, are you guys not hearing this guy? He's like slipping in all these jokes. Anyways, good to see you, man. Boot up the hype train. Yeah, man. Let's see, Undercurve TV. I'm going to try to make a product scanner. I know about these. I'm going to try to make a product scanner for my job using their web store API, but I'm waiting for the BP to be back in stock, and it's the perfect base for my scanner. Undercurve TV. What? Did I miss something? Undercurve TV. You want to make a product scanner. I see. So you want to use a VPS to do product scanning so that, it's coming from a VPS itself. And you're waiting for the BP. I don't know what that is, to be back in stock. It's probably I've heard of the BP, but I don't know what product it is. Anyways, you're waiting for some product to be back in stock, and it's the perfect base for your scanner. So barcode scanner. Yeah, I think you're right. That's where I heard of it. Yeah, I think so. Is it on Amazon? Anyways, I like where you're going with this. I've done a few things with product scanning. You could you could ask Matt IRL. That's kind of our thing. And there's going to be all kinds of little things you're going to run into. If it's depending on the retailer you're scanning. Let me put it this way. Each retailer puts measurements in place to block people from scanning products and prices. Some put more measurements in place than others, and some are more challenging to do than others. And so you're going to find, if it is Amazon, that one's really tough to scan. Target, Walmart, pretty easy compared to Amazon. That's like the holy grail for product scanning. So kind of tough to do. But not impossible. So yeah, I'd love to see or hear about what you're doing because it sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, there you go. So you scan a scanner. There you go. I like it. You scan the scanner. So you don't have to do the hard work. Alex, I love it because that's exactly what Camel is doing, is that they're scanning Amazon. And then if you scan them, then you're like, oh, this is so much easier than scanning Amazon themselves. Yeah, but that is awesome. And for a long time, I didn't realize, I'm like, how can Camel make any money? Like, I was totally oblivious to this. I thought it was like 100% altruistic. Like, don't get me wrong, great service of what they're doing, but they're making affiliate revenue. And for a long time, I was like, man, this is like, they are like so helpful. And don't get me wrong, they are super helpful. I guess for me, I just didn't understand that. I was like, what is the, what's the business model for this thing? And I figured it out. It's affiliate revenue. So anyways, I like your idea, Alex. Scan the scanner. That is such a great idea. And I think it'd be a little bit easier to scan. The tough part is zip codes, right? I don't know if Camel lets you put your zip code, but for the most part, if it's a popular product on Amazon, they're either out of stock everywhere, or they're not, right? You don't really need to know, hey, is it available in my zip? If you need to get down to the zip level, I don't think it really matters. I don't think it really matters for like retail products like this. So anyways, totally ignore that. But I like it. Scan the scanner. I like where you're going with that. Yeah, Romeo Jr. Yeah, today's topic, De-Microsoft-ification. Yeah, that was today's topic and today's intro. I'm happy to answer any questions about it or talk about it some more. I just don't want to like have you guys tune out if that's not what you want to hear. So just toss it in the chat and we'll talk about it if that's what you want to talk about. Sigor, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for all the awesome videos. Dude, thank you for being around so long, man. 40 months. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you. Alex, Tim, as a creator with a diverse audience, how do you navigate polarizing topics like De-Microsoft-ification? Yeah, that's tough. And it's funny you said this because you hit the nail on the head with something I've been thinking about and it's been on my mind for months. But I'll talk about this. Yeah, how do I talk about something as polarizing as this? I'll talk about what I don't do. Sorry, it's just a scratch. My mustache is getting out of control. Anyways, it's a tough call. Like for polarizing topics, some people play the political stance where, it's like you kind of ride the line. And I don't mean like, whatever politics. I just mean like the safe spot to be is to kind of ride the line, not make a decision, and, kind of be okay with either side. And, for the most part, I kind of do that, but only because I see multiple perspectives, right? And it's not because I'm like trying to be, politically correct or anything like that. I always try to see like the other perspective, and that's where I was this whole time. Like even during my presentation, the answers that I was giving, I was asking them to look at them critically too, right? Because a lot of things are what marketers tell you or what communities tell you, but you could always poke holes in those arguments too. Really quick, dude, VTS King. Hey, thanks for the dude, new tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. But for me, it's basically being able to see things from both sides, looking at things critically, no matter what anyone says. I'm a bit of a skeptic. It's kind of weird because I'm an optimist and a skeptic, and it's kind of a weird combination where I'm all about anything, that tech-wise. I'm like, yeah, let's try it once. But then I'm also skeptical when it comes to solutions or marketing or stuff like that. So I don't know. It's a good balance for me. And that's what I ask everyone to do is just try to see things from the other side. And so when I explain things, I try to put people not only in my shoes, me as a consumer of stuff, but also like in a business shoes or even in Microsoft shoes themselves, And so I try to look at things from all directions. And I try to remind people, when they make a point, just that, hey, there's always two sides to this. And so that's how it's been for me. I haven't done the greatest job at that all the time. But yeah, that's how I do it. I just try to look at it from all perspectives, because it's really easy for people to say like, yeah, corporations, down with corporations, open source only, yes, like down with everything. But it's like, what happened to capitalism? What happened to like, earning a wage and having a job, And so like, if people swing one way, I try to swing the other way to somewhere kind of meet in the middle. So anyways, I'm pretty level-headed, pretty practical. And I've had a lot of world experiences myself. So hopefully that shines through. Anyways, yeah, good question. When I was talking about, you reminded me of something. This still goes back to, the TrueNAS versus, I don't even want to say it, TrueNAS versus Unraid discussion. And like how that still bugs me, inside, that some people, and like my approach, I thought my approach was pretty okay. And it was my own opinion, but it still bugs me how like I didn't see that coming, and how I could have played that a little bit better. And so when you say, hey, polarizing topics, yeah, that is a polarizing topic, but it wouldn't have been a polarizing topic if my approach would have been better. So I guess what I'm saying is, now that I understand topics that are polarizing, I also need to understand how to approach them. And I don't think I approached that, was I disrespectful? No. Was I honest? Yeah, for me. Was it was it my own opinion? Yeah. Was it based on my experiences? Yeah. I mean, it was everything. Like I could look at it objectively and say like, yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. But if I take a step back and I think about my approach, and especially like, being a creator and having a small platform and a voice, I could have approached it a little bit better. And so it still bugs me to this day. Like I saw a comment somewhere that was like, there's Tim, the anti-Unraid person. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not anti anything. I'm not anti anything, And it still bugs me to this day. And so, yeah. And the funny thing is, like, this person is more mad because I gave my opinion about two products than Unraid themselves, because Unraid invited me to be on their podcast like 2 months later, and I was just like, yeah, I need to. Anyways, I need to have a good approach, a sensible approach on stuff, and remind myself that the internet is not like me and a buddy talking. It's not like me and a buddy talking and we can, say one's better than the other and argue our point back and forth until either someone gives up or agrees, right? Or agree to disagree. And I just need to remember that. I think I got a little bit, too comfortable and just didn't read my audience well, which still upsets me to this day because I'm like, man, I probably ticked off half my audience, and that is not what I was trying to do at all. I was just giving my opinion. And so, anyways, I still think about this. I think about it almost every day. So, anyways, when you brought up polarizing topics, that's where my head went right away. Anyways. Not a huge deal, but that is one regret I have on YouTube so far is like putting two products against each other. And I've done it multiple times in the past. I've done it. I've done it with Rancher and Portainer. I've done it with all kinds of software. But for some reason, this one, people really got upset about it. So, I've done it. I've done it with, you name it, reverse proxies, containerization, But this time, people really took it to heart, and I should have known that going in. Anyways, I'll get off that. That's kind of a bummer topic to me. So, DJ Keck, good day from the land down under. Hey, good day to you too, man. Good to see you. It is late there. I'm assuming it is. I'm assuming it is really late. So you're up late. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. Hey, Tim, Swiss Techno Tom, are you De-Microsoft-icated after the 45 drives trip? I'm not. Am I? No. I mean, I was just in VS Code like a little bit later. Arguably, it's not about Microsoft products, and that's an open source product. So am I totally, have I ridded myself of proprietary solutions? No. I mean, this is coming from my Mac right now, no. But I think really the focus was more on, proprietary solutions that lock you in, that lock businesses in. I think that's kind of how they were framing it up, or at least how that was their perspective. It's like, they're kind of getting boxed in by a few big companies, and they don't want to be boxed in anymore. And so... Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be. I mean, I'm a fan of Windows. Like, I enjoy using Windows, and I might be, the outlier here. But if I get on Windows, I'm not like, oh, I hate my life. Why am I using this? No, I'm like, oh yeah, this is, oh yeah, I remember, I love this. File Explorer, yes, finally a good File Explorer. I tell you, so I tell you that Mac OS Finder is so bad compared to Windows File Explorer. Windows File Explorer. Perfect. As close to perfect as it can be that we have out of our options. That's what I'll say. Browsing, searching, kind of slow. But browsing and all the keyboard shortcuts you have outside of, some performance at times, for me, I feel like it's the best experience. So there's some times when I'm managing files on Mac OS Finder and I'm this close to firing up my Windows VM to just manage files. Like yesterday, I cleared out, I don't know, probably 2 terabytes of old A-roll, B-roll, like all this old footage that I'm never going to keep. I finally kind of decluttered some of my life there. And I mean, it took me 3 hours to go through all my footage and, kind of divide it up and yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And I did that all from Finder and a Mac. And I'm like, I am so close to just like getting on a Windows VM right now. And I would be done in about 10 minutes. Anyways, but yeah, so... I don't run a business. I don't own a business. But if I ran one and I kind of do my own side hustle. But, if I had a business where, I was, had a lot of customers that required a lot of security and I had to make sure that my business was running all the time, regardless of what updates any company pushes out. Yeah, I would consider it. I would consider it for sure. But there are lots of cons. So there are lots of challenges when you do that. And that was a large part of my talk, is talking about those challenges, because it's easy to say, yes, let's do it. It's another thing to actually do it and work through the pain points. And that's what I was trying to highlight through my talks, is that here are some of the things you need to think about. And not only technical challenge, people challenges. People challenge. That's a huge one. Hey, you changed this on me. Hey, I knew how to do my job yesterday. Now I don't. One story from one guy said that they replaced one of their internal ERP systems with SAP, and his wife the next day came home crying because she knew how to do her job the day before. Now she doesn't know how to do her job. That's a little bit extreme. It has nothing to do with open source, but it goes to show that, like, hey, you know, when you change tools on people, especially an operating system, and if you look at this like, hey, this is a tool for work, and people expect you to do work on this, everything changes one day, and now it's really hard to get work done. That could be really, really frustrating. Not to mention, then, you know, some of those skills are less transferable when you switch jobs. So, yeah, I talked a lot about that. I actually have my, if you want to see it, I shared it on Google Drive. If you go out to technotim.live and you go to probably the first post where it's talking about that video, I linked my slides in there. Not all my notes, but just high-level stuff that I talked about if you're interested. And a lot of it was, you know, not only bringing up some of the challenges, but also helping people to, like, look at things critically, too, when everyone says, like, yeah, everything's going to work. No, not everything's going to work, you know? And so anyways, I'll stop talking about it, but it came up. So BB Clink. Hey, how's it going? Greetings and salutations from Shakopee. All right, Shakopee. All right, another Minnesotan. Let's go. After getting my network stable a month ago, my first Wi-Fi mesh, less than a year old, failed. Took a while to diagnose and replace. After fixing that, my used Juniper PoE switch decided to fail, so I purchased an old Cisco 3850 to replace it now. Now my network is stable for 2 weeks. Phew. Now I hope to add and enhance from now on. Yeah, that's a bummer. Like, mesh network dies, your switch dies. That's a bummer. Well, at least I don't know, silver lining, you kind of got new stuff out of it, and it's stable now, so awesome. Well, yeah, I'm sorry that happened, but things will be better. See, I'm an optimist. Things will be great from now on. That is interesting that switch has died. I've yet to have one die on me personally. I'm sure if you do, you're a network engineer or MSP, you see this all the time, right? Or you support a company that has multiple network switches. Me and my home scenario, and even with the home cheap ones, I've been pretty lucky. Mine have never died. Basic Geek, working on building out my Home Assistant setup, switching from OpenHAB to LOL. Yeah, you were talking about this. I can't believe, like, yeah, he's finally, you've been talking about OpenHAB for a long time. And I've looked into it before and it looks pretty cool. But now you're going to Home Assistant. All right. All right. It's pretty fun. And I think you're running MQTT. I think you're part of the reason why I kept giving MQTT like a third and fourth and fifth look. And I'm glad I did. And so hopefully you've then been able to hook in to Home Assistant probably pretty seamlessly with MQTT because it's pretty awesome. And another reason why I like hooking into it, like, hey, I just got like a firmware update notification from like half of my third reality devices from Home Assistant the other day. I was like, yes, update my firmware, Home Assistant. This is awesome. This is how it should be. I wish it could manage all of my firmware for me. Really, at the end of the day, it's actually the MQTT, Zigbee to MQTT that's managing that, and it's just surfacing it in Home Assistant. But still cool. I would love to be there where really I could have Home Assistant manage, you know, firmware everywhere. So it's pretty awesome though. Pretty awesome. It will actually check all of my Zigbee devices that are in there, even some of my Hue stuff. Yet it hasn't yet found updates, but Hue's been slow to release updates too. I think Philips Hue has been pretty quiet for a while. I think they got something cooking up. That's just me. I feel they've been too quiet for too long. Like either they're building a new product line or they're leaning into Matter or they're trying to figure it out. But they've been too quiet for too long, and I think there's something hopefully that comes up. This is just my feeling. When I have my finger on the pulse of certain companies and there's changes like in the ecosystem or changes in the landscape, I'm always kind of like, okay, what's going on? Like, where are you going next, right? Where are you going next? So lights appear to be a bust. I think I fixed them. We're good now. Music Driver. Hey, nice to see you again live. I keep one question for the beginning. Is a VPN tunnel like an upstream connection or like a LAN VLAN? How should I imagine? So a VPN tunnel, you can think about it just like how can you imagine it? I mean, well, you probably don't. If you're asking, it's a point-to-point connection between two IPs that has a layer of encryption over it. That's how I like to think about it. There's obviously like a whole bunch of handshaking and stuff before they agree and make the connection that, hey, we will now exchange keys and we will now create this tunnel. There's a lot of stuff, and depending on which protocol you use, it does that in different ways. But just think of it like a route from one place to another place that has a layer encryption over it that you can that is secured by you, or you and that other point agree on the key and the type of encryption, the level of encryption, and how you guys do the handshake. Then whatever goes on inside of that route is up to you. Route traffic through there, sure, go through. So then it's just, I mean, it's kind of like a VLAN then at that point. I mean, if that's how you're comparing it to, I mean, it's just basically another network with another IP that you can route traffic through. So, yeah, that's how I like to think about it. I'm not a network person. I've done some in the past, but that's how I think about it. Just, encapsulation layer. Thank you. And it could be multiple points on a VPN too. Yeah, for sure. You could do like a hub and spoke thing. Yeah. But yeah, encapsulation layer. There you go. It's at the layer. It would be a layer 2. Oh, I'm out of my league now. That's how I like to think about it. Hopefully I didn't mess it up too bad. Let me know. Matt Curlis, you may be late, but you're always. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. That is Matt in a nutshell. This is Matt. I know him in person, and I've only met him once in real life, but that's how he always is. Mr. DJ Keck, you are playing with VLAN, specifically my new TP-Link Layer 3 switch in Proxmox. There's more to it than VLAN Aware Bridge. This is awesome. I would love to figure out Layer 3 stuff a little bit more. I know, so I use Ubiquiti gear, and they've introduced Layer 3 switching on some of those things that I have, and then they've made the management of that a little bit better. I would love to learn about it some more, mainly so that the way that I understand it, when I do switching now, if I do it on layer 3, everything doesn't need to go back to my firewall to be able to do that switching. So then I could get probably better throughput on stuff. But then there's like a whole nother layer of ACLs that I have to do. And it's like, okay, I understand my firewall rules, but what do I do with these ACLs now? And they don't seem as flexible. So I don't know. I wish they were as easy as my firewall rules, because if I could build layer 3, if I could just convert my, I don't know. I wish it would just kind of do it for me automatically, but I know that's probably not the case. Or maybe it is. I don't know. David, let me grab a sip. Being annoyed with Python randomly sending different TLS versions to HA proxy 1.3 works and 1.2 fails, not been able to force it to use 1.3. I could see that, how that could be annoying. So you're using Python, you're probably using their client, right, to make an HTTP connection or HTTPS against HTTP protocol. And for some reason, it's saying, it's trying to connect it TLS 1.2 instead of 1.3. Not been able to force it. That stinks. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you got this under control and you know what's going on. I figured there was a way to force it from the client. I don't do a lot of Python. I do Node stuff, and I know I can. Well, depending on the client that I'm using, if it's Axios or whatever, or GOT, I think I can. In the config, I don't know about Python though. But that's frustrating. Because if you want them to negotiate the highest level of TLS it can, and if you control both sides, it's why not 1.3? Don't do 1.2. I control both sides. Don't take a lower version. And maybe you'd have to do that on the receiving side. Maybe on the receiving side you say, hey, I only accept 1.3, and they'll figure it out. I don't know. It's things to look into that I can point to, and I have no skin in the game. I can send you down rabbit holes. I don't know. That's where I'd look. I'd be like, oh, if I can't force it on the client side, it's usually there's some kind of negotiation, I think, between the client and the server where they say, hey, here's what I support, before they actually make the termination. Maybe do it on the other side. I think on the HA proxy side, and just say, hey, I only accept 1.3. I don't know. I'm totally making this stuff up. Hi, Tim. Hey, how's it going? Redstone Games, how's it going? Let's see. Shepherd D. Malung. Hi, Tim. I wanted to thank you for your awesome videos. Hey, no problem at all. They're extremely helpful for helping me create bare metal Kubernetes clusters. Awesome. I have a question for you. You use Longhorn as a storage solution for Kubernetes. I do. I'm searching for a good solution for me. How is Longhorn going for you? Are there any other storage solutions you want to try out? Yeah, so I think what it boils down to right now for me is like Longhorn for me is good enough. It's good enough, right? Are there quirks to it? Yes. Every now and then, like a volume will still be attached to a pod that's no longer up and it never releases it, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. But I think that's more of a Kubernetes thing than the Longhorn thing, because I've seen that other places. So I think it boils down to a couple things. Do I still use it? Yes, I do, because it's easy. It's an easy way to get block storage. You can do it all in cluster. You don't need any external services at all, which kind of leads into my second option. And so it's really easy to do. Use the leftover space on your nodes. You get block storage. You know, everything's pretty good. It'll sync it up. It'll sync all your volumes. They should most likely, most of the time, auto reattach, and things are generally good. When you start to get into really huge volumes, that's where it gets tough, right? The other thing is with Longhorn to look out for is like your IOPS, right? So because you're sharing IOPS with the cluster itself, you could run into issues. And so use SSD minimally. NVMe is fantastic, but you're going to want really high IOPS wherever Longhorn is running. And then you're going to want decent network throughput too, right? Gigabit will work. But if you have really large volumes, like some of mine are 20 gig, when it needs to sync that data, it's putzing along at 1 gigabit per second, which is kind of like, well, for me, it's faster. Well, not for one of my clusters, which is it's kind of like a blessing and a curse. Like not artificially, it's slowing down the replication, which then doesn't tie up as much IOPS. So it's kind of a good balance, but for the most part, I want to sync as fast as possible. And so if I put 10 gig on everything, then I need really fast drives, or I'm going to like soak up all the IOPS I can possibly do in, 5-10 seconds. And then the rest of my cluster is like, what the heck's going on? Anyways, I've done a lot of Longhorn stuff. I still like it and I still use it. If you're looking for something else and you want to look at Ceph, Rook Ceph is the way to go. I think those are the two, like as far as Kubernetes storage goes, I think that, and self-hosting Kubernetes, I should say, besides local, that doesn't really count. I think that's what people are usually choosing, Rook Ceph or Longhorn. And so I haven't done Rook Ceph yet. I want to, but it takes a little bit, it takes setting up a Ceph cluster, maybe kind of sort of, or having it live somewhere else. And I could probably split it up and have it live on the same machine, but it's a little bit more complicated to set up. But I heard once you get it set up, it's a super great experience. That's what I've heard. But I've also heard it from the people who love it. And so again, going back to this, like, how do I balance things out? I want to talk to some people who don't like it, so then I can actually hear like what the pain points are, right? It's the same reason why when you buy something on Amazon, you go and look at the bad reviews, right? Right? Because you want to hear from the people who have pain points, right? If most of Amazon reviews are flooded with 4 and 5, which is fine and it's great, and I don't diss anyone for giving a good review. It's so much harder to get a good review than a bad review, so yeah, go for it. But when I buy stuff, I want to know where the pain points are. And so where the pain points are, where are they going to be? They're going to be in the lower ratings. So anyways, that goes back to why I want to talk to someone who doesn't like Ceph, Rook Ceph, so then I can understand what the pain points are, because they're going to give me honest pain points. So anyways, yeah, so those are two to look into. You want simple and easy, Longhorn, and it'll work pretty good until you start to like scale really high, or you have lower end machines that don't have super fast disks. Romeo Jr., I'm in the process of migrating my Silverstone 5-bay NAS to a 2U 12-bay server NAS. Busy weekend ahead. Yeah, you are. So migrating, Silverstone 5-bay. Awesome. To 12-bay NAS. That is awesome. Well, Yeah, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. I honestly, for me, that sounds fun. Like I miss those days when like I'm like, hey, like I'm migrating a machine to here. I bought a new machine and I'm doing this. I'm like at a point in my home lab where things are great hardware wise, and I'm doing a lot of software stuff. Sometimes I wish I could kind of reset and do other things, but like then again, it's like, well, what am I going to do? Rebuild the same? Am I going to come to the same conclusion? I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't come to the same conclusion, which is the server and home lab I have now. If I was starting today, I'd probably have a different conclusion, I guess, on what it would look like. But that sounds fun. That sounds fun. Enjoy your 12-bay NAS. So it means you're probably getting more storage, or you were running out of storage before. Sounds fun. Matt, oh yeah. DJ Mr. Keck also playing poker on Zynga and knocking out donks. Good luck, man. Don't go all in. I don't know. I'm not great at poker, but oh yeah, is that a Canadian? Sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's funny. I did in Canada. I did hear a lot of sorry, and the only way I can describe how they say it is if you spell it SORREY. And if you pronounce how that spells, at least, in American English, sorry, that's kind of how it sounds. But a little more emphasis on the S, sorry. Yeah, I heard it. I heard sorry. Washroom. That's the one I always forget until I get there. I'm like, oh yeah, the washroom. And I'm like, as soon as if you go to Canada and you're like, hey, where's your restroom? They're like, American. They're like, oh, he's an American. But so I switched it up. Once I get there, I'm like, oh yeah, washroom. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. So, but I did live in Canada for about 6 months, so I totally got used to everything they would say. The one thing that always throws me off, and British people actually do this too. So like, there's things. There's way Americans pronounce stuff, and then there's way British English people pronounce stuff. American English, British English pronounced differently. There's the obvious things like progress and project. Those are pretty obvious. And I can see, I'm like, okay, it's PRO, project, progress. Yeah, I totally get it. But then the one that throws me off is, why the heck do you guys say pasta? That throws me off. I'm like, why not pasta? Like it's, pasta, like I think that's how it's pronounced in general. I mean, that's how we pronounce it. And I think like even in Italian, it's pasta. Where did pasta come from? That's the one that always throws me off. And I'm like, but you guys don't say tacos. You say tacos. So I'm like, how did pasta come about? That's the one that throws me off. So, and then instead of cabin, you guys say cottage. So those are the ones. I love it though. Every time I go back, I'm like, yes, I love it. And I don't mean to make fun. I'm not making fun. I studied language as a major. I love other languages, and I super appreciate all of the different nuances in sounds and words that people use. So when I repeat something the way I hear it, it's because I love it. Because I love when things are different. I love when people pronounce things different. I love accents so much. And I'm not just talking about British, like even in the US. Like I love listening to Southern accents. East Coast accents, I love it. I just love listening to it. But I was a language major too, so that kind of helps. Maybe. Nova Scotia and PEI are beautiful and amazing. Hope you enjoyed them. Yeah, I did. They are. Yeah, it is totally beautiful. We're on Cape Breton Island, which is pretty far east, even in Nova Scotia. So it's pretty much at the end of Nova Scotia. It was awesome. And then we went to Badek, I think, which is, I think, even further east. I don't know. My geography for Nova Scotia isn't the greatest, but it is awesome. And Cape Breton, and then there's like all the inland lakes. So there's like huge lakes that are carved out within the island that are, I assume, mostly salt water because it's still the ocean. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Pretty unique geography for sure. 2025, finally the year of the Testa, Linux on the Testa. It is. It's always next year. If it's N+1, you're right. You're right. You're totally right. Oh, where have I heard that before? For sure. Yeah, for sure. Let me see. Poorly Buffalo. I'm hoping Proton keep developing their Office apps, to add to E2EE, email storage, VPN, calendar, password manager. Yeah, for sure. Proton's doing a lot of great stuff. Yeah, hopefully they do add to their Office apps. Because that's like a big thing, I mean, Proton's promise is privacy, right? And they're developing all of these solutions. Some of them, or most of them, are around, business type applications. And apps would be another one. The one thing that I did bring up too, because I did talk about apps a little bit, like De-Microsoft-ification. It's easy to say, hey, here's tangible savings. Instead of Microsoft Office, go to LibreOffice, and you save $250 per license for Pro, roughly, right? That's easy, and that's what most people say. But I again, me saying, hey, look at this critically, think about this in the real world. I worked at a lot of companies where you cannot take Excel from a person, and it's not just because the open source alternative is different. It's because it does not have the features. And so if you really want finance to come to a crawl, you take Excel away from them. And like to this day, like I've been an enterprise developer for a long time. Like my job for probably 5 to 10 years was trying to recreate Excel on the web because that's what everyone wants. We're like, yes, we're going to convert your line of business application that's running on Excel to a web app. And they're like, okay, I don't know what that means, but yeah, let's see it. And you show them a grid, and they're like, oh, can I highlight rows? Okay, let me build that. Okay, can I do functions on these rows? Can I do VLOOKUPs? Oh, I don't think so, but let me build that. And, you get 6 months in, and you're like, I'm just rebuilding Excel on the web. Why are we doing this? And so I guess my point is that even Microsoft themselves haven't been able to replace the Excel desktop app with the Excel web app. So that's my only caution is like, you might be able to get rid of a lot of Office, but for Excel power users, you might not be able to get rid of Excel at all because even Microsoft hasn't been able to do that with Excel on the web versus Excel on the desktop. So, but yeah, anyways, this just prompted something that I thought about. I hope they do because for 99% of people, general Office users like me, the most advanced thing I use in Excel is I sum things. Sometimes I put a little formulas in there, but I am not an Excel power user. But for the power users who actually basically write code, they write code into their Excel workbooks. Yeah, that's a tough one. And on top of that, like Excel is like the world's biggest database too. So that, it really is. But anyways, yeah, I hope they keep continuing. Like competition is great. This Proton being competition, but at the same time being privacy focused is awesome. It's what people are wanting. So I'm cheering them on for sure. Lots of macros. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you are not going to, if they have macros, done. Yeah, like how many, if you can ask an Excel user how many macros they have and they're like, what? You're like, cool. We can migrate them to any kind of Excel, any kind of workbook solution possible. If you ask some other, person how many macros they have and are they writing VBA and they're like, yeah, all of it. You're kind of like, yeah, we're just going to keep you on Excel for a while. But for a good reason. It's a great product, and I'm not saying like I'm not trying to dog it. It is a great product, and like I said, it's the world's biggest database, and a lot of businesses run on Excel, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think a lot of people and a lot of internal and enterprise developers have been trying to take away Excel from people from a long time, and it's tough. It is tough. I've been there, and it's not a fight that is fun fighting. And luckily, we had a product owner who was doing the fighting, but oof, not fun. Firo, hey, just dropping in to say love your streams and videos. Thanks for doing what you do, Firo. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Hopefully, you're still around. Kagi has been really interesting as a search engine for me. I don't know Kagi. I'm going to call it Kagi. But yeah, I don't know it. I don't know. I got to see it. I realize that I'm going so far over, and my wife does have to leave in about 15 minutes, so I want to make sure I'm off before she leaves. So I'm going to I'll try to, well, this probably isn't going to be the, okay, so yeah, maybe this will be short. I'll try to keep it concise. What do you think about the future of programmers? What is the most secure job not replaceable by AI in the future in the world? What's the most secure job? Any of the trades. Any of the trades. And I'm not joking either. Any of the trades, right? You become an electrician, a foundry worker, or anything like that. You're good. You're good for a while. And they're one, we need more. Two, it's a great skill to have. And three, you're golden for a while on AI. So, anyways, jokes aside, I don't know. Future programs. So I'm not bullish on AI, right? I think of it like an assistant, right? I always think of at least AI in its current state, generative AI. I think of it like an assistant, right? I need someone to help me. Basically, a co-pilot. I think Microsoft nailed that on the marketing. Co-pilot. What a great term, because you just got it in your head. You're like, nope, he's not flying. I'm flying this plane, but if I need some help, I got him here. And that's exactly how I see AI helping at least programmers, in the future. Hey, I need to write a script. Hey, I need to write a test. Hey, basically you're feeding it the things that you need help with. You might not need help with everything, but you might need some help with some things, right? And that's where I kind of see AI helping out. Because I still think at the end of the day, it's gonna take someone to understand the business problem and try to design that in a way that fits the business and they get the result that they want. Until we're at the point where like, hey, open, ChatGPT, rewrite my business line of business app. Here's the 50,000 things it does, and it does it, and it works. We're a long way from it like taking jobs. I will say that. Like even if you had someone who was semi-tech, right? Semi-tech, and just uses ChatGPT and creates a script or creates a little program. At the end of the day, someone's got to support that too, right? Someone's got to support that. It's not going to be like, hey, ChatGPT, can you come support this app and integrate it into our line of business? And oh, by the way, we want some CI/CD, and it needs to be pushed up to Google Cloud, but also hosted here on our intranet. Like, I get it. Like, it's easy to see when it comes down to where the rubber meets the road, where code gets written, how it could be perceived that could be replaced. But if you think about what programmers do, and why I think a better term is engineers, maybe even developers, is that they're really building solutions and they're really being part of the team, and they're introduced early within the problem they're trying to solve. And this kind of goes into product management and product engineering. But a lot of programmers or software engineers or whatever you want to call them, a lot of their job isn't programming at all. And it's really understanding a process and understanding how to solve that problem securely and efficiently and stably, if that's a word. So I'm not worried about it anytime soon. Like that's my day job. And am I worried about AI doing it? No, not one bit. And so it's, but am I glad it's here to kind of help me out? Heck yeah, I am. Do I want to figure out like regex? No, or regex. Oh, I don't know how you guys say it. I say regex. Some people say regex because it's regular expression. I don't play that game. I'm a GIF and a regex. I don't know what that makes me. Probably weird, but is that value added stuff for me to like? Oh, let me pick my brain for 30 minutes on how to write this regex. When that's not the problem I'm trying to solve, right? What is the problem I'm trying to solve? Well, it's parse an email, parse a phone number, parse, something, parse a string, get some data out of this string and use that. So the problem for me isn't like for that kind of stuff, at least for me personally, and like, unless I'm writing firewall rules and I'm the master at regex, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with learning it. Like people who know regex are like wizards to me. They are wizards. They're like, yeah, see this means advanced, and this is a count back, and this means do this. I'm just like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So don't get me wrong, regex is awesome. But for me personally, when I'm trying to solve a problem, my problem is going to be, hey, in this form, you know what? Only accept valid emails. Okay, I know how to do that. I could write a whole bunch of string parsers, or I could use a magic regex, and that will solve it. I'm going to use regex. I don't remember what that regex is. ChatGPT or generative AI. Hey, how do you write regex? That parses out only valid emails. Boom, got it. Okay, cool. I'm going to use that. and then I'm solving the rest of the problem. Okay, here's the form, here's the submit, here's the other validation. And so it's like, for me, that's how I've used it so far. I need help with this thing that I need help with this thing that I'm going to search the internet for anyways, right? And so like, I know there's a lot of people saying, ooh, like generative code is getting into our code base. I'm like, dude, you've had Stack Overflow code in your code base for 20 years. Like, why are you worried about that? Like, all it did was scrape all of these other sites and come up with the best possible answer. That saves you time from going to search for the best possible answer, So anyways, that's my piece. Like, I don't think it's going to replace developers, programmers anytime soon. I think it's going to be more of a co-pilot. Hopefully it just enhances people and makes them more productive. Until robots can build themselves, I think we're pretty safe. We're pretty safe. Then it becomes a singularity, and then we're all in trouble. So anyways, I joke, but I didn't mean to go on a lot about that, but that's what goes on in my head. Because people ask me, I get this question from non-tech people too, right? Is AI going to replace my thing? And so I have to kind of explain it that way and saying that it's a great co-pilot. And the other analogy I like to use is it's kind of like 3D printing, right? Like 3D printing, if you 3D print something at home, like it's great. Like it's great. You have the ability to create this thing, and it's here and it works and it's awesome. But if you're building a product, that's really a prototype. And while, I'm not saying that no 3D printed thing can be an end product, because it absolutely can. But a lot of times that's your prototype for something else, right? And so I think of AI, if you're thinking of generative AI, like, hey, I want to write this email, or I want to, brainstorm on some ideas about this topic. That's where I kind of think, hey, that's my prototype. That's how I'm going to get ideas, and then I'm going to write my thing, which is the final product. So for me, AI is rarely ever the final product. For me, AI is always a prototype of what I want to do. Does that make sense? Because again, if you think like, what would I do if I didn't have ChatGPT and I wanted to research a topic? I go to Google and I type in that topic, and then Google's going to feed me a whole bunch of stuff. And I know we're only talking about ChatGPT and generative AI, but I think it's the most tangible thing that, people can, relate to. And so for me, it's like, hey, it kind of skips that step, and it's not a final product. For me, again, it's a prototype for the thing I want to deliver. And, I rarely ever deliver the AI generated thing, which to me is the prototype, as the final product, if I could put it in terms like that. So I don't know. That's how I think about it. I'm sure everyone uses it in a lot of different ways, and it's only me. So yeah. So that's me. I went way over, and my wife is going to leave here within 30 minutes, but I do see that there's a highlight of Smitty Ventures. If I could find you here, I have not. Here we go. I don't know. I saw you highlighted your text, so I clicked on it. I guess it works. Techno Tim, I have not learned programming since BASIC back in the 80s. I want to learn and teach my kids a programming language. What's a good one for all of us to learn? Hey, I might be biased here. I might be biased, but I'll try not to be. I think there's two that are really easy to get started with. One is I'll go with JavaScript, right? For me, JavaScript is pretty easy to get started. Yeah, it is. Then Python. That's my number 2. JavaScript for me is easy to get started. Why? Because the whole entire world, every browser runs on JavaScript, and it's pretty easy to run. Well, how do you run it? Well, if everyone right now hits F12, if everyone watching this on a browser hits F12 right now, you'll open up the Chrome DevTools, right? You'll see a little console down there. And in that console, you could write your JavaScript. So type in console.log, quotes, hello, space, world, quote, endparen, hit enter, and it'll print out, hello, world. So that's why I think for me, one, JavaScript is pretty easy to read until you get into advanced JavaScript. 2, it's everywhere. It's 1 or 2 on the languages, depending on what day it is. And 3, you can run it in your browser. You don't need anything special to do it, to learn it. Chrome, Safari, Firefox, that could be your REPL. I won't go into that, but that could be your playground to just run things, test things. You could use that to modify the web page you're using and working on. So, and while it does run in the browser, there's this thing called Node.js, which helps you run it on a server too. So it's pretty cool, pretty flexible. So I'm a fan. Number 2 is Python. Absolutely Python. Python is it's everywhere. It's everywhere. If you think about AI, machine learning, robotics, finance, anything. And so Python is really easy and has a very not a steep learning curve like other languages. It's not compiled, just like JavaScript's not compiled. That probably means nothing to you. But I will say those are the 2 I would choose. And out of those 2, which would I choose if you were going to teach your kids? Whatever you feel most comfortable with. Whatever, I would say, like, pick a project you're going to do with your kids. Like, don't even think about the language. Pick a project that sounds fun to do. And then after you pick that project, see if there are versions of that project for each language. And then, maybe try them both ahead of time. But I lean towards JavaScript just because it's so ubiquitous. Runs in the browser, runs on a server, and it can run on your desktop with Node or run in your browser with Chrome. It's pretty awesome. And it's a great introductory language too, because it's really, really approachable. So anyways, yeah, that's awesome. It sounds fun. That sounds fun. Don't have kids, but if I did, I'd teach them JavaScript. No, I would teach JavaScript, but I'd make them learn Go if they were going to write backend stuff. I'd be like, no, we got to do Go because everyone does Go now. I won't go into Rust, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to write backend services, I would say Go. Basic learning. Oh, yeah, I like it. All right, we should probably end on those. This is a good question. I remember my basic learning curve. Good old times. Yeah, I never wrote basic. I never wrote anything like that. I remember being a kid and doing this computer camp thing when I was really young, and we wrote Logos 2D. And it was this weird thing where we drew lines with this turtle. They called it a turtle. It was called Logos 2D. And all we were doing was drawing lines. So we'd write a program to draw a star and then draw a box. But the thing was just a little triangle. And they called it a turtle for some reason. I don't know. Maybe that's how I remember. I need to look this up and see if I could still write myself some Logos 2D. But it was one of the things where I was like, wow, my parents really, they really nailed it on that. Like, I had no idea that this thing was even going on. And they were like, hey, want to do this computer camp for a week? And I mean, we're talking, this is 80s and 90s. So pretty early on in tech, and I was pretty young, so I was like, yeah, that's awesome, and I think that sparked it for everything. So that's the thing. You just got to find something that sparks their interest, and so it might not be the language, it might be the project. That's why I'm saying pick a good project. I don't know how old they are, but try to find something, that's within their age group. I don't know if they like Pokemon, but if they do like Pokemon, there's tons of like Pokemon Finder kind of, games you could build or play, or I don't know how old they are. But pick something they like because that will be the hook, not only to get them in, but then to get them to come back. And, oh, by the way, you're going to learn a programming language. So anyways, that's how I do it. That's how I approach it. But anyways, oh my gosh, everyone, thank you so much for turning up today and showing up. I really appreciate it. I do apologize that I did have to skip over stuff. It's because I'm pretty long-winded on some things. But I do have to wrap it up. I did go a little bit longer, but my wife's going to leave here in about probably 10 minutes, so I should get off here and tell her bye because I was supposed to be done. If you have something you want to say to me or you want to talk some more, we have a Discord we're very close to 10,000 people. We've been that way for a long time, but we have a Discord full of people. If you'd like to join, I'd love for you to join. Just do ! Discord or Google Techno Tim Discord. A lot of people in there talking about all kinds of stuff, this morning we were talking about single post or 4-post racks versus like one of those 2-post racks, and will 20-inch deep servers fit on there? And then all the way to like, hey, my traffic container isn't doing anything we were talking about yesterday. So lots of topics there. We actually have a coding one there too, where every now and then we talk about code too. So lots of stuff there. I'd love for you to join. Super low ping, and it's pretty chill. So I will be back. I will be back here next Saturday And I hope to have something out this week. But thank you so much to everyone who showed up and chatted. Like, this is so fun. Like, I do this. I feel like I'm benefiting from this the most. And I know you guys say, hey, thank you, this is great. I feel like I benefit from this the most. And I don't mean monetary. I mean just like in ideas, you know, and with community, and like just being able to engage with people and talk about things that we're interested in. Like, this is the only time I can ever have this conversation, because no one understands what I'm talking about. I mean, I have people in tech who say, I saw your YouTube video, I have no idea what you're talking about. I say, that's okay, you don't need to. That's totally fine, you know. But this is one of the few places where I can talk openly and freely with people who understand what I'm talking about. So I appreciate it. I feel like it's all one-sided. Like, I benefit from this more than you guys. So appreciate it. Anyways, I do appreciate being here, and I also appreciate there were lots of follows. There were subs. There were gifted subs. Dude, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. There was people who have subbed for a long time. Thanks for sticking around for so long and putting up with me. I appreciate it. So anyways, I will be back here next Saturday, and I might be in Discord later if I could clean up this shelf stuff a little bit. Maybe I'll post what I'm thinking about doing in there. And I hope to have something out on YouTube this week. So anyways, have a great Saturday. Have a great rest of the day. Yeah, have a good one. Take care, folks, and be good to each other. Take care.